The native doctor's cowries froze the moment they hit the mat, as if an invisible force pressed them into silence. He lifted his eyes to the woman kneeling before him. What was revealed about her stepdaughter shocked the entire village. This is Storyboard by Draft House. Let's unravel the mystery. Long before Ngozi knelt in despair before the native doctor, there lived Okafor, a humble palm wine tapper struggling to care for his pregnant wife. Their home was small, their money was little. They lived in a small hut in the remote village. They barely had enough food to eat. But the night she went into labor, everything changed. After long hours of fighting for her life, she gave birth to a baby girl. Sadly, she gave up before dawn. Okafor cried, but he had his baby girl, Ugochi, God's gift, in his arms. Something unusual followed the baby's arrival. Okafor's life turned around in ways he couldn't explain. Customers flooded his workshop. Wealth found its way to him. Elders honored him. People treated him like a man touched by fortune. And everyone noticed one strange thing. The blessing multiplied whenever Ugochi was in his arms. Ugochi's late mother's friend, Ngozi, began visiting the house constantly. She pretended to help. She pretended to love Ugochi. She cleaned, she cooked, carried the little girl, and slowly walked her way into Okafor's life. But behind her smile was hunger. Hunger for wealth. Hunger to take over. One evening, she put something in his palm wine, just enough to make him lie with her. Then later, she announced she was pregnant. Okafor was happy that the woman who cared for his daughter, Ugochi, will finally have a new mom. Ngozi had a daughter, Oma. And from that day, the real suffering of Ugochi began. In public, Ngozi acted like a devoted stepmother. But once Okafor stepped out, she turned into a monster. Ugochi wore torn clothes, ate from the same plates their animals ate from, starved and hated. Whenever Okafor gifted her anything, Ngozi secretly gave it to her own daughter. But the villagers loved Ugochi. She got gifts from the women and the markets because it is believed her hand brought them good luck. But sadly, this made her stepmother even more angry. One tragic morning, the village town crier announced the body has been found on the village road. The villagers ran to the road. Unfortunately, it was Okafor. He laid in cold soil, gone mysteriously. Ugochi cried. Her tears could not bring him back. He was her only hope. Ngozi dropped all the pretense, transformed Ugochi's life to a nightmare. Ugochi fetched wood in the cold forest alone, slept in the goat house. Her stepsister Oma would call her a pig. They said she was too dirty to sleep on their own bed. With all the wealth Okafor left behind, Ngozi sent away all the servants, leaving Ugochi to do the chores alone. One night, She cried in mysterious tears that broke the sky. Ugochi cried so much. Thunderstorm hit the village. Heavy storm came. It rained all night. When Ngozi woke up, she sent Oma to call Ugochi from the goat house. Oma screamed for what her eyes saw. All the animals in the compound were all laid lifeless. And among them was Ugochi. Sadly, Ugochi was gone. Chinwe felt no sorrow as she fondly called herself. She called herself Chinwe Ngozi. She felt everything belonged to her. She said to herself that the only one that owns her is God Himself. She ignored the animal because they had enough plants. To her, the wealth was still there. She believed the wealth would now belong to her and her daughter alone, even though Ugochi was gone. The villagers mourned Ugochi because they loved her. The next farming season came. Okafor's land refused to produce crops. Animals ran from the compound. The wealth was gone. There was no crop. There was no animals. There was no food. The favors ceased. Something had gone wrong. Within a short time, Ngozi and her daughter became complete beggars in the village. They once walked with pride. Now they are desperate and terrified. Everything has been stripped away from them. That day came. Ngozi ran to the native doctor's shrine, crying, begging for a chance, begging, crying for an answer, begging, crying for a revelation. The native doctor looked at her and broke the news to her. Ugochi was a water child, a rare child, one who carried blessing instead of destruction. Wealth, peace, and favor followed her everywhere she went. The native doctor revealed to her that the presence of Ugochi changed their story. The fortune that Ugochi came with, she has returned to the water with them. Ngozi cried, thinking of her wickedness that had sent Ugochi back to the water. But unfortunately for her, it was too late. Ugochi was gone, and she went with her wealth. Thank you for listening. See you on our next episode.